talking about stuff in general. So we have call tonight. I made a challenge in our group that we need two coming to the call and have two orders processed today. So I think the thing that we need to start getting better at is small micro doses at a day. Every single day, you need something to work towards, or you're not going to have anything to work to. And so every day, if you can have a small commitment, it leads to a bigger commitment at the end of the week. Because think of it, if you've had two orders every single day process, even if you only got one, it's better than you not making a goal. If you have two process every single day, by the time that it's 7 days, that's 14 orders that you've had processed because you set that small micro goal versus going, I need 14 this week, right? That just seems overwhelming. So today, the big thing is to have two people confirmed, not saying they're coming, like I'm coming, can't wait to hear about it, blah, blah, blah. They come to the call today, hands down. That's the big goal today. And then in your groups, I really want to talk about your groups. I want to make sure this last week, you guys are being accountable to each other, whatever that looks like, tapping into each other, asking how you're doing. The goal of these groups is so that you are showcasing yourself as a leader, because you are. You're a leader whether you have one customer or not. You are a leader. And so showcasing that inside of your chats and sticking and checking in on each other, pushing each other to goals or whatever, that's what it's about. That's why we have three, not just one person in that group, but three. And me, Hannah, and Julia can't be in all your groups because we're trying to lift you guys up as leaders to showcase you in that leadership role. I would highly recommend this from tomorrow on, even today on. You guys find a winning day sheet, and every single day you post it. Stay accountable to each other. Make a time that you do it. Maybe it's like by 10 p.m. every single night before we go to bed, our sheets are done. Hashtag get it done, get her done, whatever you want to do. Really set those intentions, because that's what those groups are about, you guys. You're supposed to be leaning in on each other, loving on each other, checking in on each other, those kinds of things. And I want to make sure those are happening to where you're like, oh, these groups didn't work really well. Well, okay. Well, then I might ask you the hard questions. What did you do about it? Like Julia and Hannah might be like, Cassie, where you at? And if I'm not checking in on them, where's my role in that? Where's my role in that accountability? So I'm not trying to be too harsh. I'm just saying, like, if the groups are not working for you, what are you doing for the groups? So winning day sheets, checking in, accountability, rising up as leaders, because that's why you are in elite coaching. It's not just coaching, it is elite coaching, you guys. And so I'm raising that bar on February 20th because you have goals. And a lot of you guys have crazy goals. So I want to make sure that you hit them. And I can only hold your hand for so long until the bird starts flying away and you got to start learning to do these things on your own. But that's what these coaching, this is for this week, as we're checking in on each other, we're training you, and we're getting you to the spot that you need. So I'm going to pass this on to Julia as I kind of just cleaned house for a little bit, made sure everybody knew what the goals are for your groups and moving forward. But today, goal from me, to confirm to the call, these calls are phenomenal. We have to utilize them. And two, that you can set to having at least ordered today. So you can do it.
Hey, guys, I'm super pumped about this. So Cassie and Hannah and I and Erin have all been working on the 10X book. And as your leaders, it's like one of those books that you can read multiple times over and it just gives you so much good information, like so many times. So God really laid it on my heart last week that we really need to tackle mindset. The number one thing that keeps you from doing exactly what Cassie's talking about and stepping into leadership and doing things, even if people aren't there to check on you, is your mindset. And I think we definitely try to focus on it, but I think it can take more time to focus on it so that we can all grow in that. Because like she said, like we're not here to drag you into your business. We're not here to obviously we're not going to do your business for you. But we also aren't here to just let you sit here and say, oh, I wish I had this, or I really want to have this, but just keep watching you not succeed at that. Like, we aren't doing our jobs to help rise you up if we're not pouring into you when you are wanting help and needing out of that hole. So here's what I want you to do. So first of all, I wanted to mention this. All of that Cassie said is so good. And I want you to remember, when you're coming here, you guys know that we love you. So yes, some of this stuff can sometimes be like, man, stop pointing at me, okay, with your words. But know that we're calling ourselves out too. It's one of those things that we're all in this together. And I Pam and Ashley can both tell you, I'm really good at like just saying, hey, listen, this is what needs to be done. This is what, but I so adore them and appreciate them, because they also know I do it because I love them and I want them to succeed. And I want them to be successful at their dreams that they have written out and planned. And that is why I push them. And even sometimes I may push a little hard, and they're gotten real good at telling me. And Cassie helps me on that too. But I want you guys to remember, whenever we go over certain things that may seem a little tender, know that it comes from a place of love. And just remember that. Remind your brain. That's another mindset thing, is don't have the spirit of offense. Okay. Hold on to the spirit of growth, and understand that we're all in this to help build you up and rise ourselves up. Okay. That's why we are always asking you guys, like, what can we do better? How can we help you? Like, we want to help you. We want to do better, but unfortunately, we don't read minds very well. So, I mean, I'm pretty good at it sometimes, but for the most part, we don't do that. So we need you to tell us, or we need you to tell us what's working and what's not working. So, for example, with your three-way chat, if there's something that's not working in there, tell us, you guys. Let's work at it together and make it better. Like, this is the first really like effective, I feel like, group we've had that's actually like continuing to work, and like we're going at it, and this is all something that we're doing together. And so we don't grow and don't get better if you don't help us do that. So with that said, I want you guys to start out. Did you guys bring your paper and pens? Awesome. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. We're going to take 5 minutes here. Yeah, I think we'll take 5 minutes. We're going to take 5 minutes, and I want you to write down 10 accomplishments for life and business, whichever you choose, both one or the other. 10 accomplishments from 2024. So do that now. I wish I had music. I don't have music, and I won't sing to you. All right, ladies, got about 1.5 more minutes here. So if everybody's finished, give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'm gonna give you another minute. Okay. So now what I want you to do, and we are not going to share all of these, but I'll share a couple of mine that I put down on mine just to kind of give you an idea of what we're just going to kind of look at. So I put obviously Senior Ruby. That was a big thing for me in 2024. Having an entire year working without a day job and still being able to basically bring in the same income was huge for me. I took bi-monthly trips with my family almost all year, which is a dream of mine that I've worked on for a long time. And I gained a lot more leaders in my team than I had the previous years. So I would love for you guys to share some of those in the chat. Because like I said, we don't have time to go through all of it. But Cassie, keep an eye out. Darcy said she's going to try to jump on here. She's on her lunch. So, but okay. So now that you have listed 10 things that you're grateful for and that happened in 2024, what I want you to do is go back and, oh gosh, where did my thing go? My notes. Okay. Now I want you to assess where you were or your business. So we have two different things because there's some of us that are still fairly new that in 2023 we weren't in this business. So I want you to also use life here. Okay. I want you to assess where you were in 2023 and what your goals were for 2024. And I want you to write down a couple of those. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes here to do that. So Darcy, I know you were able to just pop on if you can, because I think you might still be working, but we listed 10 accomplishments for 2024. It doesn't have to be business, can be life, but 10 accomplishments for 2024. And then we're going into listing where we were of either personal or business, because not all of us have been in this that long, where we were in 2023 and what our goals were for 2024. So where were you in 2023 and what were your goals for 2024? Yeah, Sam?
I don't even remember what I did yesterday. You think I'm going to remember what I wanted to do in 2023?
If I make your brain think about it, yeah.
Lord
So think about it,
Jesus.
ma'am. You just finding fancy ways to saying, I don't know. Stop that.
I mean, I have one,
See?
but I just don't know how deep you want me to go because
Well, give it a couple minutes and see what you get. Give it a couple minutes.
And you said to assess our lives.
Assess your lives in 2023 and where you were. Write something that tells me or you where you were. Where were you in 2023? And then I want you to remember back to 2024 and be like, okay, what was it that I wanted to do in 2024? Or did I have any plans? Maybe you didn't have any plans. Maybe you're like me whenever I was at the hospital and it was really hard for me to dream or have even big goals. Hey, guys. Few more seconds here, and then we're gonna keep going. Good job, Sam. That's good. If you make your brain think, if you force it to do it, it will eventually catch up. All right. Okay. Everybody have something written down that we can kind of go with? Yes. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to take those 10 things that you accomplished in 2024, and I want you to look back at 2023 and tell me, and I want you to unmute and tell me one thing that you're proud of yourself for accomplishing in 2024 that you had not done in 2023.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
I wanted to rank gold and I did in 2024.
Yes. Excellent. Who else?
I'll go.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Denise. You're good.
I was just gonna say, um, I know that I wanted to be fed and in a community, and I am now. And I
Awesome.
was so desperate to get my health back into,
Mm.
back, have my health back and get my gut health back and everything. And I did accomplish that in 2024.
That's awesome. Okay. Ashley, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that in 2024, like I really started looking at Plexus as a business versus in 23, I was just fumbling through life. Like Russell had just left and there was just so much survival going on. So
Yeah, absolutely, girl. Awesome. Okay. Who else wants to go? Good job, ladies. Thank you. Christy, you got something to share? You're at the top of my screen here. You and
Yeah,
Shelby.
so I have, man, 2023, our business shut down at the beginning of the year, and I had to start working a day job for the first time in like 5 years. And I hated it. And that was all I knew before that. And I hated working for somebody else. I hated that my time was taken up. I couldn't do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it and how I wanted to do it. I hated being told what to do by somebody who, although they'd been doing stuff for a long while, weren't willing to mold and bend themselves to newer things. And to not take my input whatsoever. I hated it so much. My
Awesome.
kids were at school, and and they're still at a preschool, but like I hated that I couldn't be home with my kids in 2023. And so 2024, like, and I hated my spiritual life in 2023. Like I hated where I was at spiritually, and I knew I was so wrong in so many ways. And especially the end of 23, I let a lot of life stuff take control, and I wasn't intentional. And so 2024, I really became intentional with many, many areas of my life. And so, teaching my children how to be accountable for themselves and having chore charts and knowing what they need to be doing. And then working my business actively for 5 months of the end of the year, solid 5 months working my business and actually seeing progress with it that is sticking. It's not every month I'm restarting over again,
Yeah. So let me ask you
right.
real quick, Christy, on your experience from 2023, I heard the words hate and like you just were really struggling in 2023. But looking back on that from 2024, do you feel like that actually helped equip you to press into what you actually wanted more
Yeah,
than
'cause I
what
was
maybe you had in
disgusted.
the past?
Yeah, I was disgusted with my life in 2023. And it wasn't because like my life was so awful, but it was because I realized I wasn't choosing it, and whether or not, and I don't mean
Yeah.
like taking control from God, but like I wasn't being intentional and I was going with whatever was thrown at me, and I had no input when I could. And it sucked. And realizing that I hate the word hated because I think people misuse it, and I really think words have meaning. And so I don't like using the word hated. So when I say hated, like I'm fully hated and disgusted with just disdain for where I was at.
That's awesome. Here's the thing. And I say that's awesome because hear me out. I'm sad that you had to go through that was painful. but I can see how it has helped you transition your vision and your dreams for your family
Mhm.
into something that you are, you just use the word, being more purposeful with.
Yep.
And I think so. Here's my next question, you guys. Okay, so now what I want you to do is think of your goals that you have for yourself right now. I want you to think of the goals that you have for yourself right now. And I want you to think, actually, I want you to put in the chat one word that describes how you feel about yourself in this moment, where you are versus where you want to be. I want you one word about where you are today versus where you want to be. What word would that be? And I'm not telling you it needs to be all fluffy. Don't give me fluffy words. Okay, Denise says disappointed. Inconsistent, Sam says, okay? Where's more words? I know there's more than two of you. Slacking, okay? Growing,
Okay, I about to say Ashley said grow.
okay? Effort, okay? Okay, so when we sit here and we look at our ideal goals, right? Darcy says focus. I like that. Okay, when we sit here and we look at our ideal goals, a lot of times, especially for people who are overachievers, it is so much easier to be hard on ourselves. And so what we really need to learn to do is to shift our focus backwards and realize and look at and take into consideration how far we have come. Because if we constantly are aiming for the horizon and we're on a run, if you are running and you see that horizon and you're like, okay, that's the goal, that's the goal, that's the goal. I'm going for the horizon. I'm going for the horizon. How often has anybody ever been able to make it to the horizon? Never. Never. So the ideal goal of what we have for ourselves, how many of you have ever actually met a goal that you got to that looked exactly how you thought it was going to look, that felt exactly how you thought it was going to feel, and you got there exactly how you thought you were going to get there? Right? It doesn't happen, you guys. That's the ideal. But if you are able to shift your focus and realize, oh my gosh, last year I had 2 team builders that were growing a business, and I was sitting there trying my best to get myself to senior silver or to senior whatever ruby. And with 2 team builders, that's great. But like, here's the thing. In August, I added 4. I added 4 team builders, and I hit my goal in November. Did I want to hit it in November? Nah, I wanted to hit it like the year before. But I hadn't shifted my focus to really see where I've come, and to also be about shifting it to my leaders as opposed to it growing me. So I want you guys to take a couple minutes here, and I want you, how many of you guys have ever read the book, The Gap and the Gain? Okay, so write that book down, The Gap and the Gain, GAP and the GAIN. If you can get it by Audible, if you can get it in your hands, get it. It's a phenomenal book, and it will change your life. You have to figure out how you're measuring yourself and your experiences. Are you measuring them by the ideal of something that you will likely never achieve, how you think you're going to achieve it? Or are you measuring yourself by how much progress you've actually made from the last 3 months, 1 month, 6 months, year? I want to say Ed Sullivan, but I know that's not his name. I don't know if you know who Ed Sullivan is, but he's an old game show host. Yeah, Denise knows. Okay. It is, gosh, what's his name? Cassie, who does The Gap in the Game. I'm trying to think of it. Hold on here. Dan Sullivan. Dan Sullivan in The Gap in the Gain talks about how if you constantly are measuring yourself by an ideal goal, and you are constantly just, that's where your focus is, you will eventually burn out. You will eventually burn out and you will eventually give up, because the ability to actually achieve an ideal goal is inexistent. But for those people who actually transform their thinking and start looking at how far they've come. So let's say, I'm going to use Sam for example. Sam, this month you have a goal. Typically your goal is to do senior gold, correct? That's been what your goal is. This month we adjusted your goal. We adjusted your goal to be a number to hit that's a bigger number than what you've achieved in the past. But here's the deal. What if Sam doesn't achieve that number?
And she cries.
Exactly. Because that number is your ideal, right? Now, what if Sam decided to look at this and say, okay, I'm 30 points higher than I was the month before. I may not have hit that number, but I grew this month. How much better does that feel, Sam?
But what if I don't grow?
Oh, so you want to look at it negatively? Okay, we can go there too. So that is when we are living in the gap.
That's the
If you
personal
always-
problem right there.
But that's a choice, my friend. And you're getting so much better at it. You've been growing at this whole time. The last year and a half, you've made leaps and bounds of how you've shifted your focus. And you've done phenomenal with that. And that's where you have to consistently, you can tell everybody. Is that something that you decide one time and then all of a sudden it's always fixed?
No.
No. What do you have to do, Sam?
I have to call Julia every day so she can yell at me.
No, that's not true.
Ashley,
you-
speak up. Tell everyone it's true.
Not true.
It's true a lot.
You do call me a lot, but that's okay. I'm here for you, and that's what I want you to do. But you do have to make a daily conscious decision of when you catch yourself in that moment and saying, okay, nope, I'm not going to look at it that way. I'm going to realize that last month, this is where I was. And maybe 6 months ago, if it's not last month, you know, we all have our ups and downs months, you guys, and you have to realize that you still have growth. And don't allow the devil to trap you in the fact that this moment isn't your ideal, right? Okay, so with that said, I want you guys to write down, I want you to define what it is that you actually want. So if you know what you want, and you're like, I want to get my products paid for, awesome, write that down. I want to
I
hit,
need clarification. Are we talking about the month, our big goals for the year? Like,
That's what I was just gonna ask Sam. I was all like, you're gonna have to clarify that.
because I could go big, but if I'm talking this
Nope.
month, I need to kind of like make it smaller.
okay, so let's do this month. This month, what is it that you want to accomplish?
By the end of February.
What is your goal? Do what?
By the end of February. That's what you're
By the
saying.
end of February, yep. By the end of February, what do you want to accomplish? I am sweating, people. I gotta go turn on the fan.
And if she doesn't, then we'll go, my favorite is to do small, then go into larger. And so we'll work to say, okay, well, here's where you want to be now. What about next month? And then what about 3 months from now? And what about 6 months from now? And then what's the end goal? Because like she said, the horizon, we always want, like, I would love to be Star Diamond with like 12 of y'all, right? That's way out here. I might not ever touch it, but I can get close to it. And so that's like my end all goal. But how do I get to that end all goal is to break it down into chunks and pieces of where I need to be right now. So,
And you have to realize too that goals are good. Goals are good to have. They help you to set a standard of where you want to go. But you have to realize that if you don't hit that goal, you have to be willing to take acknowledgement of the things that you did accomplish. Because when you stop acknowledging the accomplishments you have made, you end up in the gap every time. You are going to be negative about where you are. It's going to be because it's unrealistic. And it's honestly, it's mean to do to yourself. You've worked hard to get to where you are. So you want to be able to give yourself credit. You wouldn't do that to your kids. Go ahead, Cassie.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, think of wins as anything. It doesn't have to be a point in your back office. Kyle, maybe all of us should re-listen to Kyle's, call where he talked about that. Like, if you're putting yourself as a back office number, then who are you? Like, because the wins that you're getting to every single day is I helped my mindset today. I overcame this. I actually talked to somebody. I went live. I Those are wins that need to be celebrated. That if you wouldn't have gotten in a community like this, you would have not done. So just recognize those things too.
Yep. Yep. So here's something that he says in that book, and this really stuck with me, and I wanted to share it with you. He's talking about his kids, how sometimes when he looks at his kids, he gets in the gap about his kids. And he said, when you're in the gap about your kids, you're measuring them against the ideal of what you think they should be. And then it completely misses all of the ways that they are actually growing and progressing if you stay in the gap. And what you teach them when you're actually teaching them, like, oh my gosh, you didn't reach this goal, you didn't do this. When you're teaching that to them, you're actually teaching them to devalue themselves. And that hit me hard, you guys. With my kids, like, my kids are a huge part of my world. And if I ever am teaching them to devalue themselves, oh my gosh, that just kills my soul right there. So we have to do this not only for ourselves, but also it can be very, very good in parenting and helping our kids realize, yes, like, I want you to behave this way, but what I'm going to do right now is tell you how far you've come and how good you're growing. Like, helping to breathe into them and actually show them that progress is what should actually be celebrated, not your lack of achieving what I want you to be at right now. And I think that goes for all of us. Like, all of us can take for that. Because, like I was just saying, like, you wouldn't expect for your kid to just be like, oh my gosh, let's say your kid's playing a sport and you're like, you didn't make a single goal. You suck. Like, I cannot believe you. Obviously, the goal of a sport is to make a goal of some sort, right? But are you going to actually say that to your child? No, you're going to celebrate all the little things they did that you noticed that they did better than they did last time, or that they're getting better at. And we should be doing the same thing for ourselves. We should be doing the same thing for ourselves in our lives. We should be doing the same things for ourselves in our business. We should be doing our same thing for ourselves in our family life, in our spiritual life, all of the different things. If we learn and really help to shift our brains to focus on progress instead of an ideal of where we want to be, you're going to see so much lifted off of you in the sense of stress. So what I want you to do is write down that goal. And then I want you to look at that goal. Go ahead, Cassie.
I was just
Did this.
thinking, like with my daughters, and all of you guys have kids. Like when they come to you and they're like, "Oh my gosh, mom, look at this. Can you believe I did this?" And you're like, "But you didn't do your room like I asked you to. You didn't do it like I said. You didn't do like they come to you excited for the wins they wanted to show you." So think of that in yourself. Like, could you imagine if you're like, "Oh my gosh, I went live," and we're like, "That wasn't good enough." Or, "Oh, you went for gold. Did you actually hit gold? Oh, wasn't good enough. Sorry." And you guys, all of us, internally do that all the time because we set our standards on a point goal versus showing the wins, like Julia's saying. I never want my kids to have that much excitement to come and tell me something that they're so happy and proud of, and I diminish what they've done. So remember that when you're doing that for yourself.
I will say that too, that hits home for me because I feel like I've done that before. Like, my kids come up with something really excited and I'm like, okay, that's great, but did you do what I asked you to? And you know what I mean? And so we're very quick. So I'm calling myself out too, guys. I do it also, but I am growing and I am trying and striving to do better, especially in my parenting. Like, I want my kids to do and go so much farther and better than I ever did. And so that's definitely something that
Okay, I'm going to show something.
it hits me. Okay.
I've had this board for 3 years. You can't see it because it's blurry. Don't know why. But I mean, I do. It wants to focus on me. Anyway, It says Sapphire. I've had this board, and do you see I only have 2 ticks off? I've had this for 3 years. Am I making myself look bad because I haven't gotten here in 3 years? Did I quit because maybe I'm not called to be in this team because I didn't hit this goal 3 years ago? You guys, I still have the board. I didn't get rid of it. I didn't throw it away because I didn't see that we didn't accomplish it. I just know it wasn't the right time to accomplish it. So,
Well, and you have to think too of, I think Sam and I talked about this, going to Gold School in the sense of your capacity. Like 2 years ago, your capacity in the team you were building, or 3 years ago, I can't remember what you just said, 3 years ago. Anyways, yeah, 3 years ago, and the capacity of what where she was and the team that she was building, it wasn't what God foresaw for her. And the thing is, she had a goal. And so she could have just focused on that goal and said, well, apparently I'm not called to be here. But she didn't. And we are all so very grateful that she held on and that she was focusing on her progress, not the lack of accomplishments that she was making to her ideal goal. Her
and you guys,
journey
that
to
was COVID.
Sapphire.
That was COVID time. I just realized like that was COVID. 2020 was when that was that goal.
Yeah,
So,
it's 5 years
well,
ago.
Almost
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just think about that. None of you guys would be here if I give
yeah.
up.
If she would have quit, none of us would be here. We wouldn't have the impact and value that we have on social media, in our lives, and just our presence wherever we are. We wouldn't have any of that had she given up because she didn't achieve that goal that time. Her journey looks nothing like what she thought it was going to look like. I can guarantee you that. My journey looks nothing like what I thought it was going to look like back when I was in nursing school. So here's the thing. What I want you to do is take the goal that you have set for yourself for today, for this month, and I want you to come up with 2 things this month that have been good for your business that you have learned or in a way that you have grown. So let's start that. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that real quick. 2 things this month that you have learned and something that you have grown by this month. And remember, guys, this doesn't have to be just business. This isn't how you are growing as a human. That's truly the most important part here. Because if you don't grow, you don't know how to teach other people to grow. And leaders grow daily. All right. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. So with the goals that you guys have, I want you to type in the chat. Oh, Darcy's ahead of me. I can handle more than I think. Oh, yeah, you can, girl. Yes. Type in the chat at least one of your wins from this month already. And then in thinking of the wins that you've had already this month, I want you to tell me how that makes you feel. So 1 win and 1 word for how that makes you feel. So 1 win for this month that you've already accomplished, and 1 word for how that win makes you feel. Denise says getting stronger than belief. Darcy said I learned that I can handle more. Leading people I don't know and have never met. Yes, it's just the beginning, my friend. It's the best. Showing up for myself on hard days. Yeah, Megan. I can work when I'm sick. It was okay. I didn't die. Yeah, you did. That's awesome. All right. Waiting on a few more. See here. Ashley, Sam, Hannah, Carrie. I think those are the only ones that haven't gone yet. Where are you at, friends? Yeah, showing. Yes, Shelby. Good. Thank you, Shelby. I don't see your name on here, so I'm like, oh, strong. Keep going, Sam. You got this. I believe in you. I mean, I could tell you for you, but I'm not going to do that. I reached out to people about doing the business and can still love on them when they say no. Yes, that's great, Ashley. That's awesome. Darcy said strong. When I look back, I know God is really using me. Oh, I love it. That is amazing. Carrie, Sam, Hannah. Sam, what did you do yesterday that you were proud of yourself for?
Into the gym.
Nope. I mean, that's good. Yes. Yes. But you also did something else that you said made you uncomfortable.
Oh, I made a controversial post on Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
Well, it was controversial in my eyes. It may not
For
be in
you.
anybody else's.
Yeah, true. But that's growth, my friend. That is growth. Yeah. Message people without bringing up plexus. That is a phenomenal win, Carrie. That is so good. Good. Excellent, you guys. Okay. Hannah, are you going to say something? There you go.
Yeah, I can't type right now, but I went ahead. Before I started the 3-day reset, I did not know I was going to get sick, but I promised myself I would document every single day, and I've still been doing that, even though I was sick the first
Not
two.
feeling good. Nice. Good job. See, you guys, here's the thing. When you have a win and you focus on that win, it does so much more for your brain. It literally releases serotonin in your brain to focus on your wins versus your losses. So I want to challenge each of you, and this is for the next week, and I will check in with you, maybe not next week, but at some point in time, because I'll be gone. But Sam will check in with you because she's leading, and so is Christy next week. So when you, every night this week, every night, there is no breaks, okay? If not for this, you write down in your phone or on a piece of paper 3 things that you're grateful for that day. I want you to do that every night this week. 3 things you are grateful for every day. And if you don't do it, I'm going to throw sand at you. No, I'm just kidding. Do something. This isn't for me though. Here's the thing, it's for you. If you don't do it, you're missing out on focusing on the good things and helping your brain shift. You got to remember that. I mean, I would do it for you if I could. I love every one of you dearly, and I want you all with me on the ship next year. But here's the thing, I can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, and we have to start making tracks in that positive less than the negative. Yes, we're all going to have days where we kind of divert back there. That's fine. We'll get there. That's why all of us are here to help pull each other out. But we won't always be here to constantly pull you out. You have to be able to have what it is in your brain that's going to help pull you up. And this is what I want to help equip you with. So in the next week, 3 things every night that you're grateful for, 3 gratitude things. You guys can use that for posts. I'll just throw out that real quick. It's a really easy post. Find one of those that really sticks with you and use that for the day to post. Content, value, you're adding value to other people. Okay. Cassie said something about time blocking. Cassie, you want to say anything more about that before because I've done what I feel I have needed to do today. So
You did great. I love it. I think the biggest thing is you guys making sure to time block this in so that before you go to bed, you know that you're doing your gratitude. You know that you have done your business before you've gone to bed. You have to, and we've talked about this a lot, but time block in what this business could look like for you if you blocked it in. You know, the beautiful part is that yes, we get to do this on our own time, but that's also a hindrance because if you don't block it in, it's not going to work for you. It's going to work against you. And when I say against you, it's going to work against this because you're like, well, see, it wasn't for me. I just didn't do, I didn't hit my goals. Well, a lot of that is because did you actually have the time or put the time in to do it? So I say this in a loving way, like find an hour each night that you're like from 5 to 6, that is my plexus time, or from 8 to 9 in the morning, that's my plexus time. So at least I did the hour and the rest is extra. So find a time between you and your group that you're like, here's my time, help me stay accountable. I'm saying this to you. Like the reason why I'm posting about the 3-day reset, I did not want to do it. I'm starting my period. I have been for apparently a week now. And usually when I'm on my period, I hate it because I want to eat everything in the house, right? And so I'm doing it for accountability. I'm posting every day so that somebody else can see that I'm doing it. So I don't know, it just helps me out. I did this during COVID. Every single day I posted a workout because I knew if I didn't post a workout in my head, it was like people were watching me. And so I did my workouts. So do that inside your group and say, this is the time that I'm setting aside for Plexus. This is what I'm doing. Who else wants to do it with me? We have a week left in this, 8 days, left in this month. Let's make it great, not just good. Let's make it great. You just got to start here first. And I love the gratitude. And honestly, tomorrow, I really would love to get back to Gratitude Fridays to where you go send at least 3 messages or 5 messages to somebody to say, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Just say something to somebody else. Be encouraging, be that light that people really need on their dark day. So
I got 3 things real quick that I just kind of sparked my memory off of what Cassie said, and then I'm going to let you guys off. So first of all, what are your goals, and are your habits matching your goals? If your habits aren't matching your goals, you're either going to have to shift your habits or shift your goals. So that's something that Kyle told me, and I was like, oh, that hurts. Because anybody who knows me knows that my time blocking is not great. So the night before every day, I have literally been texting Cassie. Yes, I was calling you out, Cassie. I have been texting Cassie what my day is going to look like with my work time and exactly what I'm going to accomplish that day. So go ahead.
And what has that done for you by doing that?
Well, number one, I feel a lot better about my days because I've actually been doing it.
Yep.
And
she stayed on time. Like
she did today.
Well, she was 15 minutes behind, but she stayed on time, right? So like it helped her stay accountable to the time that she set. And that's why I like doing them nightly, because then you know what your next day is going to do. So then you don't get down on yourself when you set this whole weekly schedule that you're not going to be able to accomplish. So if you do a nightly routine and say, okay, tomorrow, this is what I'm doing.
I tried to do that for a while where I would do it a week in advance or a month in advance, and it just did not work for my schedule. Like it was almost more daunting to me because I wasn't accomplishing it. It wasn't reality to me. So the whole looking at my calendar the night before and sending, you guys use your 3 ways. Use those 3 ways. Send your daily accomplishments for your business in that 3-way. And your jobs are to hold each other accountable. Our jobs are to hold people accountable in their business, in their supplements, all these different things. So if we can't hold each other accountable, how are we going to hold other people accountable? So do that. That'll be helpful. The other thing is, something else that Kyle said to me that he actually said in that call the other day, he said, if you don't have a plan for your next month, then I don't plan for you to actually advance in your rank. I don't plan for you to have a rank up, because if you can't plan ahead by 1 month, you can't plan ahead enough to be able to accomplish what your goal is. And I was just like, okay. He said, if you don't have a plan ahead, then you're working a hobby. You're not working a business. And that sat real heavy with me. And so I will say that again to you. If you guys haven't watched that one from Kyle that Kyle did for us a couple weeks ago, put it in your ear as you're driving around town today and tomorrow, or do it on a regular basis. He had so many good nuggets in that. But you guys, if we don't have a plan, if we are not setting ourselves up for setting ourselves up for success, we're setting ourselves up for failure. And you're going to walk in, live in what you determine. So the words coming out of your mouth about your life on a regular basis, the words coming out about your business, the words coming out about your character, the words coming out about your leadership, you will all live into that. So what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your leadership to look like? Do you want it to be sporadic and crazy and chaotic? I don't, and I have lived that way too long. I was just thinking about that today because listening to this book again, it talks about how stop running around with a chicken with your head cut off. And I'm like, I literally have felt that way for so long about my business. And the last 3 days or 4 days, I can't remember how long it's been this week that I've been sending Cassie my list. I haven't felt that way, you guys. I have purpose. I have vision. I have focus. So if you say, well, I'm just like that, that's just me, then that's what you're going to walk in. That's what you're going to live into. But if you want to change that and you're tired of living in that life, journal about it, you guys. Figure out what you want for yourself and what you want your leadership to look like, what you want your team to feel like. What do you want your team to feel when you're coaching them? Right? This is all things that we're growing into, and all things that one of these days, if you don't give up, you'll be able to accomplish. God's deemed you here for a reason and a purpose. Don't let the devil tell you otherwise. Okay, guys, we got a few minutes. Anybody have questions or anything, any thoughts? Positive, negative, build me up, tear me down, do it. Go ahead.
Denise didn't share her thing.
What thing?
The oh my goodness, what we oh my gosh, what we were talking about, like the messaging people about bringing up Plexus is what Carrie said. The what we thought about now looking back or something, or the rest of the month. I can't remember what you said it was. I was writing down Carrie's because they're my team.
I think she did. She said growth.
She said the word growth, but whenever we gave out what our work, oh my goodness.
Oh, how it makes us feel.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about? How it makes us feel when we're focusing on our growth or when we're focusing on our progress.
Yeah, I did. I put
Okay.
in growth because I put
Gotcha. I missed that.
Yeah.
It just came up now. Sorry, never mind.
No, it's okay.
I just wanted to write it down because I wanted to make sure I had it.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Christy. I love your heart. Awesome, you guys.
Megan,
Do you feel like-
were you on the team call Tuesday?
Who?
Everyone was on the team call Tuesday? Okay, I was just gonna go over our plan for the next week,
Yeah.
but
Do it. Do it, girl. Go.
well, hold on.
Just getting a phone call. The moment she starts to talk.
Okay, sorry, my coworker's gone and I'm the only one down here, so I'm just okay, once we can get it finalized, we're gonna do a Candyland contest type of board while the fabulous leaders of ours are gone. So if you wanted to be in the contest game Candyland, just let us know. We'll get you added to the group chat. That was all.
Yes. I am super pumped about that, you guys. They have some really cool things planned, and I just love watching them. It's just so fun. So very cool. Yes. Chime in our elite thread, or actually in our faith team thread, because anybody can do it. It doesn't have to be elite. Chime in our faith team thread if you want in. Just
And
say,
make a poll in there.
oh yeah, do that. That's a good one. We'll do that. That's perfect. And then next Tuesday, we're going to have a couple people lead. So be prepared for that. It'll be Tuesday evening, or same time, same place. I don't know if we'll have them use my Zoom or yours, Cassie, but we'll figure that out. So
I paid for Zoom too, so we can use my Zoom, so you don't have to give out logins.
perfect. Okay, that's great, Christy. Thank you for doing that. All right, ladies, super proud of you. Cassie, anything else you want to do? Okay.
I don't think so. Do y'all have any last minute things? And then call out in our elite chat where you want to be in 8 days and whatever you need to hold yourself accountable in our chat, but also do it in your groups. You know what I mean? But do it for all of us. Let us know. Yes, Christy.
I have one thing I wanted to chime in that goes with what Julia was saying at the end there, that Carissa talked about on her gold and above, which I'm not technically gold yet, but I feel like I'm like right on the cusp, so I joined it anyways. But she talked in there about having knowing who you want as leaders and their characteristics and their traits. And that's something like I've always just like had in my head, but never written down, never actually meditated on and thought about. And so if we're going to rise up as leaders, like Julia is talking about, and if we're going to step into those roles, we need to know what our leadership needs to look like she said. So I just want to add another challenge, if that's okay, that we need to spend some time meditating on what we think leadership looks like. Do our habits actually reflect that? And I don't think we need to change what we think leadership looks like necessarily. We probably need to change our habits to reflect that leadership. And then we need to sit there and meditate on people that we want to join us as leaders and as business builders. Do they reflect those habits? Do they reflect that? And then we need to be looking for those people as well.
I also will say, yeah, that's powerful. The other thing I was going to say is keep in mind when you guys you're not, I want to reword this. You're not holding each other accountable. You're helping each other stay accountable. Because I feel like holding somebody accountable is almost more daunting sometimes. You're helping each other stay accountable to what you want for your life. And the other thing I will say to you in that is make sure whenever you're doing this time blocking, maybe your life is chaos right now and you can dedicate 30 minutes a day. You guys, 30 minutes is better than nothing. So remember, or 15 minutes every day,
If you're doing what Julia said and you're figuring out the night before what you need to do, that 30 minutes can be super productive.
Yeah. 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 I love that, Christy. Christy, will you share that, your challenge in the thread? I'm getting ready to share the ones that I mentioned. So, okay, guys, rock it this week. We're so proud of you. Don't forget, utilize our stuff that we're putting on social. Blast it out there to your people. Let them know what's possible for them because it is possible for you. Okay.
Don't forget we have product call tonight to invite people to, because I think that was Cassie's thing too. It was 2 people on the call and we're signing 2 people or 2 orders today. And then me and my mom and Shelby are hosting an event tonight. If y'all have people anywhere near Oklahoma City, Guthrie area, we're just north of Oklahoma City. Anybody is welcome to come to this, and y'all are welcome to send your potentials to it, because I have potentials all over Oklahoma and Texas. So I don't know if y'all do too. Y'all aren't that far from Oklahoma. So
no, I've got people. I gotta look. I gotta see. Well, thank you.
Just tell them to mention your name. We're giving away gift cards for people who bring friends, and everybody gets a goodie bag.
I love it.
All right, girls. Love you all. Let me pray over you before we go. Heavenly Father, Lord God, I just thank you so much for this team. Lord God, I thank you for your passion, Lord God, that you've placed in every one of their hearts. I thank you for the vision. I thank you for the vision that you have placed inside of each of us. They're all different. They're all beautiful, and they're all part of your plan for us. Lord God, I pray that we don't lose sight of that. I pray that we don't lose sight of the vision giver, that the vision may waver one way or the other in the sense of not looking maybe what we thought it would look like, Lord God, but we're always focused on you. And I pray that you would just rain down blessings upon these ladies for their consistency, Lord God, Lord, for their work on themselves and their work just helping other people. Just bless them in their time, bless them as they go, help keep them safe and healthy, and help keep those of us traveling safe and healthy as well, and just bring all the glory to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Can I say one more thing? Your prayer made me think of this. Sorry, guys. But there's some song lyrics it's a song I love. I know I've posted on Facebook many times years ago, but it's called Beautiful Rose. And in the lyrics, the guy says, boy, can we make God laugh by telling him the plans we have? Just think what we would be missing if we only got what we were wishing.
Oh, that's cool. You're going to have to find that song and share that.
I'll send the song. I love it. It's beautiful. Most people don't know it. It's a very unknown artist, but I love the lyrics.
That's cool. Okay.
It says I'll take the thorns for the beautiful rose is the point of the song.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Love it. All right, ladies. See you later. Bye.